So you want to start doing video in-house, but you want to do it on the budget. We're going to show you how to film professional video with your smartphone or webcam and save a lot of money. We've developed this guide to show business professionals like yourself some basic filming guidelines so you can record professional-looking videos with the use of your mobile device or your webcam in the convenience of your home or office. In many cases, by using these filming techniques along with some professional editing, your videos can have the same effectiveness as one developed through some large video production company. Let's get started. In your phone, if there's an option to increase the resolution or file size when recording a video, adjust to the highest setting possible for the best recording quality. When doing this, check your device's storage capacity to make sure that there's enough space on that device to shoot a full video at higher resolution. As for things like exposure, focus, or color, most smartphone cameras will handle that automatically, which can be nice if you're in a place where the light changes a lot, because the device will automatically compensate for those changes in light. But if there's an option for manual exposure, you may want to consider using that setting if you're unhappy with the automatic setting and how it changes with the light. Let's talk lighting. Try to pick a room that is well lit and avoid conflicting light sources. For example, if you have fluorescent lighting in the ceiling, try not to have too many windows with curtains or blinds open that let in the natural light. Natural light, however, can serve as an excellent light source for filming if it's the only light source. Also, avoid shooting directly at a light source. In other words, don't shoot your subject with a window behind them. If your camera is set for auto exposure, your camera will automatically adjust for that brightest light source. So if your window is brighter than you or your subject, your recording device is going to adjust for that window light, and you or your subject will be dark, while the window will look perfect. The best approach is to position your subject away from the window while letting the daylight illuminate them. Also consider having your subject or yourself, if you're filming yourself, at a slight angle from the window to add a little dimension. Another approach is to purchase two lights and some softboxes to evenly light you or your subject and remove all external conflicting light. The best background for editing purposes would be a white wall or plain color wall. Any wallpaper or pictures or plants can become a distraction to the viewer. Try not to get any shadows on the wall as well. Usually if you stay far enough away from it, like 3 or 5 feet, they will be avoided. Or consider adding a light source behind you to help remove or lessen any shadows. You could also choose a scene that's more picturesque, like a wide open lobby or boardroom. Just make sure that you have plenty of space behind you or your subject, and that it's not too dark or too busy. That'll help keep your subject separated from that background. Now let's talk about sound. Part of a great video is great sound, always. For capturing the best sound, we recommend a clip-on lapel microphone that you can get at Best Buy or an electronics store or even online. Clip it approximately 8 to 10 inches under your subject's chin, depending on their height, in the center of their shirt or blouse. Try to have them wear clothing that matches the color of the microphone cord, which in most cases is black or a dark color. Otherwise, you can tuck the cord under the shirt or garment so it's covered. Also, these mics are very sensitive, so any excessive movement could cause the mic to rub on you or your clothes. As for the room, choose one without a lot of echo, like smaller rooms with carpeted floors, which help to keep the sound from bouncing off the walls. If you're in an office setting, try to find a meeting room or office that's away from as much office noise as possible. On camera, what you want to wear, try to stick with plain colors. Nothing too bright, like white or yellow, or with too much contrast. Avoid garments with stripes or patterns. Some digital devices can't capture patterns properly and can make it difficult to work with in the editing process, and they can be very distracting to the viewer. The best video is a stable video. If you're shooting with your smartphone, use a small tripod that has a mobile adapter on it, like this one. One of the most important things that differentiate a homemade video from a professional one is proper stabilization of your device. Once you set up your mobile phone on the tripod, do a test shot and then start recording. Try not to bump or move your tripod or the table that it might be sitting on. As a matter of fact, the best situation would be to have a separate tripod that is not on a table in front of you that your subject is using to do the video. Another option would be to have your subject sit at a stationary chair that won't squeak or make noise if it moves without a table there at all. Your recording device will sit on a tripod on the floor. Make sure that when you're done with your interview, you shoot some candid shots of your subject in their work environment. You can get shots of people at their desk, typing away at a computer, or talking with someone on the phone, or whatever their daily duties might be. Also keep in mind you may need to get some extra footage of something that relates specifically to your subject matter, like cutting the grass for a landscaping video, or riding a bike for a fitness video, or whatever the subject matter may be. When filming, try to use all of the above rules so that you keep uniformity with your shooting style. If you're shooting an instructional video, there may be screenshots or PowerPoint screens that need to be added, so make a note of that as well so your editor knows what to add. When positioning your phone camera or recording device, it should be at eye level to your subject or slightly lower than eye level. In addition, try to bring the recording device back far enough so the subject's waist is near the bottom of the frame and the top of the frame is 1 or 2 inches above the subject's head. Avoid using the zoom on a smartphone as the image will be cropped and won't look as good as the footage without the zoom used. Also, turn your mobile phone horizontally to accommodate for the wide format, which is the orientation of 99% of all screens on the planet. In many cases, your subject could be at a slight angle looking away from the camera. We have found the best thing to do is to have someone talking just slightly right or left of the recording device. However, with instructional videos or if someone is introducing themselves or their company, looking directly in the camera makes the most sense visually. One-on-one interviewing using only the subject's answers. When doing your interview with your subject, make sure that you sit at the suggested angle and keep eye contact with your subject. After you ask a question, make sure that you stay perfectly quiet and avoid remarking in any way while your subject answers your questions. Comments made off camera are almost impossible to take out in the editing process. Also, ask your subject to paraphrase the questions. In other words, if you ask the question, "How did you like the beach yesterday?" instead of them answering, "It was great," they would need to reply, "It was great at the beach yesterday." If we're only using the subject's answers, we won't hear the questions, so their answers will need to be complete. Another tactic is to avoid asking questions and instead ask the person on camera to talk about the matter at hand, like talk about the beach or tell me about the beach. If you're going to record yourself, look directly in the camera and speak to each of the subjects that you would like to discuss. Do several takes until you feel comfortable with what you see in the playback. Remember, you can always remove information in editing, but you can't add missing pieces later, so feel free to expand on whatever you're talking about. If you or your interviewee wear glasses, see if they can be removed to avoid the possibility of any reflection or glare issues that may occur. If not, make sure your subject or yourself, if you're self-filming, keeps his or her head in a position that does not have any glare or reflection. This may take some practice. Sometimes it's easier to affix your eyes on an area of the camera itself, like the logo on it, if it's on the front, to keep your head still. So on rare occasions, you may have an individual in front of your camera that has oily skin. If so, you can get an anti-glare makeup that pats on in the area that will remove some of the glare. If this doesn't work, you may want to consult somebody that has makeup experience. But most makeup brands have some really nice powders that match a variety of skin tones. What you see in the mirror may not be what the camera sees. Always use the image that your camera captures to judge if things look okay. If you see a glare in the mirror, the camera may not see it at the angle from which it films. If there's a scratch or scar on one side of somebody's face, the camera may not see it, or it may not even be noticeable if the person is talking and the finished product uses B-roll over their voice. Test, test, and test again until you like what you see. When setting up for an interview, the most effective way to record is to make sure you test until you get your recording the way you would like it. If you're recording yourself, turn the recording device on reverse or selfie mode to see yourself while you test. But remember, don't shoot that way, because selfie mode shoots everything mirrored. Well, we've developed this guide to help you capture the right visuals for your video. To take your video to the next level, we have developed several simple, cost-effective programs that will allow you to send us your footage either online or through Skype recording. Send the footage to us, we'll edit it and send it back to you as a finished product. Feel free to contact us to find out more, or visit our website to learn more about all the professional video services we offer.